Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you something that I'm very excited about. This is a custom mic holder I made with my 3D printer here and for the DJI Lav mic. I started with the design that I had found online, but as you can see with the 3 mics here, I've made some major improvements to make it even better. So let's go into the process and let me show you how I did it. So I came across this design online for a DJI Lav mic holder. And although it was pretty good, there was a few things that I thought I can do better. The fit was a little loose and it wasn't secure as I'd like it to be. So I took the original STL file and I got to work with making the improvements. So my biggest complaint with this mic holder was that the DJI mic was not sitting flush in the mic holder. And let me show you what I mean. So with the DJI Lav mics here, these microphones are meant to be put on either a shirt, a garment, anywhere. They're also good for lav mics, meaning you can actually put a lavalier, a wired mic, through this, tuck this into the client's pocket, your own pocket, and this is out of sight, out of mind. The one thing I really like about these microphones is the quality, the ultimate quality in the audio. The one I'm using right now for the camera is the Comica VM30. This is a great shotgun style mic, great boom mic, but I wanted to be able to boom mic these DJI mics because they have very good quality. Now if you can see here, when you put this into the holder, it goes in pretty well. It's a little tight.
That's what she said.
To be honest, it's a little tight, which there's nothing wrong with that. My biggest concern is you're gonna start to chafe and start to scratch up and destroy your microphone, the mic itself, the body. I didn't want that. My biggest complaint was the height of how far this microphone sticks out of the shell. Now in reality, this little silver component right here is the actual mic. So this tiny little piece here is the only piece that really needs to be to be visible, unless you're looking to maybe plug this in and have it on a constant power, or you need access to any of these buttons. Here's one thing that I noticed about that. There's not very many times where I'm pressing any of these buttons. If anything, I would press the lock button, so the mic is locked and it won't accidentally turn on and off. So that being said, the width here was a little tight, and then it came down to the depth of how deep this microphone went in. So I got to drawing, and I did a rough sketch at first, and then I created this drawing here. So the goal for this was to have some rough sketches and then refine my rough sketches. So I used my caliper tool here, and I took my measurements of the mic. I wound up using this, and I got all of my measurements, top to bottom, the width of the microphone with the clip, with the magnet part on the clip. And now, what I did then was I started in CAD design. I got into Fusion 360, and the objective for me was to make this channel a touch wider and make it a little deeper. So as you can see here in this, the original creator of this file, he has a little tiny about a 1 mil extrusion outward for the notch of the buttons. So that was one feature which I wanted to keep. Then, and where are we with my first one? The biggest thing that I also said that I wanted to improve was the height of the handle. You really didn't need this much. Not many people have hands the size of, gorillas or gigantic lion paws. So technically you didn't really need that much space. So as you can see, I wound up taking the shell, the handle part, I made it a little thicker so it was a little bit more comfortable in the hand, so you weren't kind of closing your hands so tightly. This is a little bit wider, a few mil wider, and it's shorter as far as the depth. So when you're holding both, you can see, excuse my puppies here, you're holding one and you're holding the other. Let me let these guys out because they seem to be a little... The handle, I made the handle a little shorter, a little wider for a better grip, and I was able to extrude this channel out a touch lower. Now you can see in the pictures I'm throwing up on the screen here with the CAD design in Fusion, there's a second wall in here that needed to have a little bit more of that wall extruded out completely, so allowing for this microphone clip to open and close. So, and in doing that, I wound up getting it down a little lower. And as you can see between the two, I'll keep this one as our test, meaning this was the first one. You can see the difference already. You can see how much lower this microphone actually sits in the body. Okay, so I still wasn't happy with that completely. I wanted this much lower. So I wound up taking this file back into Fusion, and I actually extruded the top part here, the microphone holder itself, not the handle. This part I extruded up. The biggest problem was I had forgotten to extrude the inner wall to allow clearance for this clip. So what happened was, yes, it went down a lot deeper, which I'm very happy with that. Now you can actually get one of these microphone covers, the muff, and it would look like a professional microphone, which it most certainly is. Biggest problem I was having was, as you can see, how the clip is sitting flush here. It's not bent outward. When you look at this one, the microphone clip is under a lot of pressure. Does it really matter? Probably not, but I'm a bit of kind of like a perfectionist freak when it comes to certain things, and by no means am I saying that this design is perfect. No. What I'm saying is I wanted it to be perfect to move forward to the next phase of creating this. Right now this was just the building phase, the actual construction of the microphone, and then beyond that now is going to be some styling. So I printed this one in blue just so we would be able to see the difference. Also, I didn't feel like burning through all of my black right now because I have some projects I need to use the black for. So in doing so, I wound up extruding out that second wall in here, and I'll show some close-up pics of the two on the screen so you can actually see what I'm talking about this inner wall. I wound up getting back into Fusion. I extruded that wall up so the fit is actually really, really solid now. You can see there's no pressure on that clip, and it is absolutely the same squeeze factor, which means it's at resting. It's basically at the resting, maybe a touch out, not too much, and the microphone is completely concealed. Really, really cool. So just imagine this being all black, very similar to this, with the proper, the proper extrusion on that inner wall. Really, really unique. This thing is such an amazing tool, and if you just learn a few simple commands in Fusion 360, I really believe anything is possible. Fusion is more on the CAD design, where Blender is, you can still do CAD design in Blender, and I'm going to learn Blender. I'm going to attempt to learn it. I'm going to do the build a donut in Blender. The tutorial has, I think, maybe like a bunch of millions of views, because it's the best tutorial for learning the simple procedures in Blender. When it comes to Fusion, Fusion is a CAD design software program that's used by engineers all over the world. It's really, really fun to use. You can use a free version that allows you to have 10 project files. The cool thing is, once you hit 10, if there's a project that you no longer want, or 5, 6, 7 projects that you no longer want, you can remove them and you're basically back to 3 or 4 projects. I absolutely love the program. I cannot say enough good things about this little printer. This is the Bambu Lab A1 Mini. It's a super small bed. I mean, if you look at the dimensions of this pad here, I know they're on here somewhere, or they're on the other plate. I'm gonna find it on, well, actually the other plate. I'll get the dimensions. I'm not gonna, I'll wind up putting them up on the screen if I can't see it on this one. I know the actual plate. Yeah, this one doesn't have the dimensions. Maybe they do, I just can't see them. So, it's a very small printer. It's a very small surface area. The A1 itself, not the A1 Mini, it's about $100 more. If I had known just a small difference in price, I probably would have went for the larger one. That being said, this one you can accomplish a lot with. And if you have a product that you're creating that's bigger or taller, meaning if it's taller or wider, you can break that product into 2 parts and have a connection point where they both go together. You can glue them with the 3D glue, you can glue them with Crazy Glue, you can use plastic repair, Bondo, anything you want. So I have seen a lot of examples where creators are creating products in multiple pieces and then putting them together afterwards. So I can't even begin to express how exciting this tool is to work with. It's a lot of fun. It's very intuitive. Like I mentioned in the first video, I mean, start to first print is about 15 minutes right out of the box. Super, super easy to set up. But more importantly, it's about the creativity, right? It's about creating something of your own and learning to create these products, like using the caliper tool and measuring the measurements out was so much fun. Like, I really enjoy that, and you can see it in some of the clips here that I filmed of measuring this thing. I had a load of fun. Now I've got another thing going on. I've got these lamps. That I use here, and I'm using one now, and I'll show you this one. These are really cheapo lights. I bought these on Facebook Marketplace. Long and short, he basically just gave me these lights for like $20. Are they great? No, they work though. My biggest dilemma with these lights was attaching it to a stand. You can see there's a lot of bend, there's a lot of flex. Now check this out. The part that I took off, if I can find it while we're still doing this video, if I can't, I'll show you in the next video when I actually create it. So just imagine, here it is. Just imagine this mount right here. This mount goes onto that metal bracket. So it bolts on here, and then this is your quick release. This is a standard feature. I have it on my main light here. This is a standard quick release style where you push it through. There's a metal shaft that goes into here, and then you just button this down, and this button is your quick release. One of the coolest things is I literally started designing out a wall mount for these things using the same dimensions here of that shaft that's already on this. But I don't want just the shaft. I want a plate. I want a base plate. So I started designing the base plate. I started rough drawing it, and then I put it into Fusion, and it literally took me 5 minutes to create. It's really cool. So I'm gonna do that for the next video. I'm gonna show you guys the problem and the solution that I came up with. And that's what I really find when it comes down to these 3D printers. That is how I created and improved a custom mic holder for the DJI Lav mic using my 3D printer. If you're looking to get into 3D printing or looking for ways to customize your gear, I highly recommend giving this thing a try. If you've enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified for all the content coming up. This is just the second video on this channel. I'm really excited to share my journey learning this process. And according to a couple of people I've shared the CAD design with, they were pretty excited that I was able to pick up such a difficult software in such a short time with such a short amount of time spent on it. Back on that word time again, like the first video. But the cool part is you don't need to do a lot to create something really fun. This could be anything that you want for your house, for your loved ones, or even to improve your work, your work environment. Namely for this is one of the main reasons why I created it. So that's it from me today. Thank you for tuning in to video 2 of my first 3D printer. I look forward to seeing you guys in the comments. Comment below what kind of printer you just bought. Comment below what kind of printer you're using. And comment below of the products that you've created so far in Fusion 360. Have you attempted to create any of your own products, or are you using the STL files that are available on the web as of now? Either answer is awesome. In fact, I definitely suggest, if you're not in the level of learning Fusion, print a bunch of stuff that people have already created, because you'll see how the process is done. You'll see how it turns this filament here into a hard, durable surface. For me, it's just mind-blowing. I'm absolutely blown away on what you can do. And I literally have a list of like 15 products that I'm going to be looking to create. So very excited for that. Stay tuned for that to come in the future. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for tuning in. Have an awesome day. Take it easy.